crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.
Apparently, it's Dragonweek. According to Genie D and Pointed Hat, last year was Kraken Week. This year is Dragon Week. We're supposed to talk about dragons. So let's talk about, in my humble opinion, the single greatest dragon in cinematic history, Vermithrax, from the underappreciated fantasy classic Dragonslayer, also known as the Ars Magica movie. Vermithrax Pejorative. Is that how you pronounce it? Vermithrax. How do you pronounce his last name? Vermithrax Pejorative. Pejorative. Pejorative from Dragonslayer. Why is Vermithrax the single greatest dragon in movie history? Because he is a working practical effect of Ray Harryhausen quality from Jim Henson and Industrial Light and Magic. And considering when the movie came out, he was ahead of his time, breathtaking, a truly great depiction of a red dragon. One of the best low magic fantasy movies. What can I say about Vermithrax? He's the man. He's the bomb. And it's a practical effect. It wasn't CGI, wasn't anything else. It was a practical Ray Harryhausen puppet. They did the 1-inch frame at a time. Every scene with Vermithrax was just so intimidating, just so frightening. You just truly captured the power, the might, the pain of the red dragon. Vermithrax was great. So you can't have Dragon Week without talking about Dragonslayer. Just a great low magic fantasy movie, so unappreciated when you talk about some of the greatest, fantasy movies that came out of the 80s. But we can't have Dragon Week without talking about Vermithrax. None of these pictures really do Vermithrax justice, just how good the effect was for the time. Now remember, this is the 80s. This is the early 90s. This is CGI. It pretty much was not great. This is all puppetry and practical effect. So for the time, now some people will say Smaug, and we can't talk about dragons without Smaug either. And some of the other dragons that have been in some of the other fantasy films. There's been a lot of dragons in fantasy films. Dragonheart, all those weird B fantasy films you could find on Amazon. Dragon Knight, Dragon Paladin, Dragon Driver, Dragon something another. But for my money, it's the practical effect genius of Vermithrax. Plus, just what a great name, Vermithrax. Yeah. All right, so Dragon Week. If you want to do your own Dragon Week video, I'm posting the link down below. Currently, this is an idea that Genie D and Top Pointy Hat came up with. We're supposed to talk about dragons and what dragon we think is the most terrifying dragon in movies, TV, literature, whatever. Why we love dragons, why we don't love dragons, why dragons are such an iconic part of the hobby. Where do dragons come from? Were dragons just medieval people's way of explaining large lizards and snakes and alligators, and maybe running into a dinosaur? Or I don't know. The idea of a dragon must come from somewhere. Wouldn't it be funny if it just, somebody ran into a Komodo dragon or something, was like, I don't know what to call this thing. It's a dragon. Not sure where the whole fire-breathing flaying thing come. I'm sure that's from fairy tales. But, where the actual dragons come from, especially our more European view. Was it just somehow a folk tale that came out of somebody running into a very large lizard? Maybe somebody saw a Komodo dragon or something, and just go from there. I always like to think of somebody ran into a dinosaur, that there's still like a dinosaur plodding around way back when or something. Who knows? I guess we'll never know unless we're there. Where's my time machine? Anyways, Vermithrax, Dragon Week. Well, who's your favorite dragon and why? Talk to you later.